Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. All right, it is Friday. I don't even know, in the middle of the month. Here we are. So, and what we are going to actually be doing today, we're still in my whole back to basics series right now, trying to get people ready for going back to school. Also, for those that are thinking about taking their GED, their ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the IBEW exam, also the SATs and ACTs, because guess what? If you don't know the beginning of it, how are you expect to think outside the box if you don't even know you're inside of a box and you don't know how to find a special way out? So if you know of anyone that needs some math assistance, I know it's a Friday night, but hey, all I need is just one lovely hour from you. And also go ahead and share this live out as we break down the whole concept of one and multi-step equations. So we're going to get started as people are coming in. Go ahead and just tap away so I can get myself started. And then we can get ready and having fun. As my cat is staring at me like, you know I want something, girl. All right, let me get the cat out. You guys keep on tapping. Been sitting here for almost 2 hours, if not a little bit longer. Hasn't touched me until later on. Hello, Amber. Yes, Friday fun time. Let's work on these skills. Also, some of my students are starting to come back because, hey, a lot of people are going back to school either next week or some people went back to school on Thursday. So I know some people said, why aren't they starting on Monday? Because they don't want the complete shock to their system. Let's go on a Thursday, Friday, so then they'll have Saturday and Sunday to kind of recoup a little bit. So as you guys are coming in, go ahead and tap away. Do not be shy. Do not be stingy with your love, because we are going to be breaking down basic concepts. And these are the concepts that a lot of people usually either forget to do a certain thing, and then all of a sudden you know the information, but because you forgot a certain step, it'll throw you completely off. So I'm just going to address it, try to clear it in a fun and productive way, and as well, just kind of like break things down. All right. Hey, Lainey. Okay, thank you so much for you guys coming in. Go ahead and tapping. Go ahead and sharing. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Thank you so much for the follows. I think that's Tanny. And then we have one Mo. Okay. I always know Amber. Thank you so much for the gift, Amber. I appreciate it. You're always gifting me. I love it. Usually I'm not a gifter type person, but here we are. Okay, almost there, guys. We're at 7:25 last time I checked. Okay. Hello, Francisco. Francisco's also giving me an answer. Awesome. So while we're getting super close to our target for us to get started, let me zoom in and just try to tell you, what is your goal? Now, still to this day, when you are solving, when you're doing anything in life, you need to have a goal, because how are you going to know when to stop? Right? Like, seriously, let's be real here. So when you're doing anything in life, you should have a goal. How do you know that you can stop? Or how do you know that you might have to pivot? Okay? Or when do you know that you need to really get off your butt and start getting into full gear? Right? So you always need some kind of goal. So the goal is you want to isolate, not the formula, because I was thinking about formula, and just like that, my brain said the whole thing. So I said psych. Okay, so we're basically trying to isolate the variable. So the variable is basically letters of your alphabet minus INE, okay? INE cannot be used as variables because they're numbers. Yeah, they are. All right. So you're basically trying to get that variable. If the variable is an x, we want to get x by itself on one side of the equal sign while you have your numbers and expressions happening on the other side of the equal sign. Now, in order for us to do that, we need to do the following. Use your inverse operations. So what I mean by inverse operations, your opposites. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we are using the inverse operations to help with that isolation. So as I see, we reached our goal. Let's get it going. Hello, user. All of that. Welcome back. I always remember the 516. That's all I can remember. So, for our first one, we have x plus 5 equals 12. So, I know there's an equal sign, and we're basically using this equal sign as my barrier. Now, what happens is whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I must do to the other. So I look at the original and it says x plus 5. If I want to get this x by itself, that means I need to move this plus 5 out of the way, and I need to move it to the other side. But in order for me to do that, I need to do the inverse. So I can remove the value of this 5 over here and move it over here. This is why you're doing the inverse. So the opposite of plus is minus, and whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Okay, so now I have a positive 5 minus 5. So that gives me the 0. So now the only thing that's happening on this left-hand side is my x. I don't need the 0 as a placeholder because I still have that x. So now I'm doing my operation. My 12 minus 5, that gives me 7. So that means the thing or the number that will make this equation into a real statement will be 7. Because if I plug 7 back into for the x, I got 7 plus 5, and that does equal 12. Okay? Simple as this. All right? Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I greatly appreciate it. So now, let's shift over. Let's kind of amp it up a bit. So if I have my second, move it over some more. And I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, Audrey, man, this is so easy. Like, seriously? And I'm like, you got to understand, there's a lot of people that because of whatever trauma they had when they were first introduced to algebra, it's still lingering. So the main reason why I'm on this, not only to sell my services and to sell my products, is also to alleviate that whole thing called math phobia. Because really, we're passing a lot of this stuff on to our kids, onto our neighbors, onto anyone younger because of the tragic or the trauma that we had years ago. And the way I know about it is because I used to be that way. Van, I didn't have to look. I knew it was Van. Thank you so much. Look at you. All right. So because of those things, guys, we really and truly do not want to carry that on. Let's face it. Let's break it down. Let's move forward. So now this time we have x minus 11 equals 19. All right. Eth, I see you. Thank you so much. So this time, here's my equal sign. Here's my barrier. So now I need to get x by itself. So this time I have a negative 11. So I need for this negative 11 to be carried over to the other side in order for my x to be by itself. So the opposite of minus is plus. Okay? So when we have negative 11 plus 11, think about it. If you owe me $11 and you paid me $11, you don't owe me anything. Okay? You could put the 0 down, but that's a placeholder. We don't need to hold the place because we still have this x that needs to come on down. So here comes the x coming on down, bringing down the equal sign. And now all I have to do is combine 19 plus 11. So 19 plus 11, 9 plus 1 gives me 10. Carry over my 1. 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 30. So 30 is the number that will make this equation into a true statement. All right. No problem. All right. Step by step, guys. Because in order for you to figure out how to calculate volume, in order for you to do Pythagorean's theorem, in order for you to do anything with exponents or SOHCAHTOA or order of operations, you need to get the basics down, and you need to get them down in solid. All right? So, we worked on that one, and now let's work on this one. So even if you're watching, you're making dinner, I don't know what you guys are going to have, because I haven't eaten yet. Just been working, trying to keep things together, get things prepared. Really trying to make sure I get this math workbook up and ready for you guys, especially by like Thanksgiving. If I can do it sooner, I would. At the same time, try to support people as much as I can. All right. So ETH is giving me an answer of 5. Okay. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I greatly appreciate that. Okay. Hyabel is saying 5. Oh, well, thank you for my penmanship. Thank the Catholic nuns. Trust me. Whew. With their rulers, I'm surprised. You see my knuckles? Especially this one. Victor is saying yes, 5. Jumpy is saying negative 5. Okay. Hello there. It's saying negative 5 as well. And that's another thing. I will recognize you on this platform, okay? Good or bad, I will definitely recognize you. But we try to keep things positive here. And again, if it's too slow and you're just like, oh God, this is too much, just go to another platform, because I'm a type of person I like to take it step by step. Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look. So again, here is my equal sign. So this time, okay, our goal is still the same. We want to get x by itself. So right now, the 22 is a little bit more to the left than all the other ones, right? But we're still doing the same. Now, the operation for the 22 is not the minus sign. That minus sign is acting as a negative for the x. If you want the signage, the signs are always on the left. If you're not sure what the left, here's an L. Boom. That's your left hand, okay? So this is the side. So this is actually a positive 22. So if I do the opposite, I'm going to subtract 22. Okay, and that's just exactly what Jumpy Jan said to me. So here we go. When you have a positive minus 22, that's going to give me a 0. And I don't need that 0 as a placeholder, because I still have a minus x, not an x, a minus x, a negative x, because that signage is to the left of that variable. So we need to bring that signage down. So now we're going to say 17 minus 22. Okay, so if you owe me $22, you paid me 17. That's a weird amount, but I'll take it. But guess what? You still owe me $5. So that's why that's a negative 5. So now we have negative x is equal to negative 5. We don't want to know what negative x is. We want to know what positive x. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to divide. And you're probably saying, well, why? Because in front of this, or in between the negative and the x, is assumed to be a 1. So if you ever have a teacher that says, oh, x is equal to 1. No. X is not equal to 1. The coefficient of that x is 1. And a lot of people keep thinking that x is 1. No, x can be any number, okay, from all to infinity, okay? So we're actually going to divide a negative 1. So a negative 1 divided by a negative 1, that gives me 1x. Bring down the equal sign. And then a negative divided by a negative will always give me a positive. When the signs are the same through multiplication and division, your answer is always positive. And then 5 divided by 1, that gives me 5. So the answer that will make this a true statement is going to be 5. All right. Okay. So could we have moved the x over and moved the 17? Yes, we could have. Yes, you could have. Because remember, we got multiple ways of getting the same answer. All right, so this is not the, oh, you only can do this. Okay, yep, you can add x on both sides. Let me show you what that looks like, because I know some people are like, oh, can you? What? I'm going to write the word or so you can see both. So let me write the original down. And then what you can do, I'm going to add x on both sides. And I'm going to subtract the 17 on both sides. Eventually, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to do all your operation in one clean movement. Okay, that's the goal. So now you have your 22 minus 7. That will give us our 5. Equals, then you have your positive x. And if you have some teachers that like for you to do the identity, so that means we might have to flip it with x is equal to 5, especially if you're doing algebraic proofs in geometry. They're always going to want you to put the variable first. Just saying. But is this wrong? No, it's right. Okay. You're telling me what x is. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's just a little bit more to move around, but you're still hitting that goal. Okay. Why is it negative 5n? Well, we don't have an n up here. Okay, awesome, good. N. So why is the answer not negative 5? Because when we divide it by the negative 1, because here we are, that minus sign acts as a negative for the x. So when you brought down, you only brought down the x. You did not bring down that minus sign. So that means you are forced, because we're only looking at negative x, so that means you have to divide both sides by -1, and a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. Okay? Yep, a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. All right. Well, thank you, Sam. Sam to the 7th. All right. So, if you haven't noticed, this was addition. This one, well, both of these were subtraction. Okay. Now, let's look at the one step. Let's look at it from a multiplication perspective. Let me slide this over so y'all can see. So we have 5x is equal to -30. Now, if you don't see a plus or a minus sign, okay, if I don't see a plus or a minus sign in between the 5 and the variable, that means this is multiplication. And as we talked, probably saw, the opposite or the inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides, not by the -30. A lot of people, when they guess, they're like, oh, let me just get the biggest number so I can get it out of the way. No. Remember, our goal is to get the variable, in this case, the x, by itself. So the number that is associated with that x at that point in time, that's what we're trying to get rid of. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. And instead of writing 1x, it's always understood that the 1 is there just by the x having its presence there. So now we have a -30 divided by a +5. A negative divided by a positive, that's going to give me a negative. When the signs are opposite, when you're multiplying or dividing, your answer is always going to be negative. And then 30 divided by 5 gives me 6. Okay, 6 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 6. Either way, you're going to have 30 items. And since you got x by itself, you did your job. You found that -6 is the missing piece to make this equation into a true statement. Okay. So I had James had a -6. Always do the inverse operation to get the variable. Yes. Thank you, Lex. Yes. That woman, Shah, thank you for the follow. Princess, make sure it's a -6 because the signs are opposite. There you go. Oh, it's right down there. Sorry. Hey, Robert. Okay. All right. Let me try one more. Actually, I'm going to try 2 more, but the same concepts. Okay, but the same concepts. All right, and if you guys can continue to tap, I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, we have x over -5 is equal to 3. So our goal is, it's almost like we're being like mini detectives. Like, what is that number divided by, because that's a fraction bar, divided by -5 will give me a +3. So we have our equal sign. I'm going to continue to draw this little barrier until we really understand that, hey, whatever we do on one side of the equal sign, we got to do on the other, okay? We got to balance things out. It's almost like you don't want someone with like sloppy, no, never mind. You want to have things even out. I don't want to shut down my own life. Okay, so the way that you do this, okay, you always look at your denominator. And I know there's some people that are like, hey, why don't you just multiply by the reciprocal? You can do that. Okay, you can definitely do that, which I'm going to show you a situation where you have to do that. Okay, but here, since I have my 1x and over a 1 digit of -5, anytime I see this fraction bar, that means division. Even fractions. Fractions mean division. Guys, someone told me that once, and all of a sudden my whole entire world of math just opened up. Isn't it weird? Okay, I was a rightful age of 25, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh. I was a rightful age of 25, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, that's not that. Ay, ay, ay. My phone is like plugged in, and for some reason it's saying, oh, and for hours, all of a sudden. It's the devil. It's okay. All right. So as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. All right. So we have our -5 divided by -5. That will give me a positive 1x, or I can just simply say an x, equals 3 times -5. So we have a positive times a negative. My answer will be a negative. 3 times 5, that will give me 15. Okay, so the missing piece of this lovely puzzle is -15. If I plug the -15 for the x, a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive, and 15 divided by 5 will give me 3. Okay. All right, thank you, Princess. But make sure you change your signs. Please make sure you keep up with your signs. And that goes for everyone, because I know there's more people, you know. Okay. So we had our x over -5. Anytime you have a fraction bar, that's division. The inverse of division is multiplication. So I multiply both sides by my denominator, which is the -5. Because -5 divided by -5 will give me a 1. And I have 1x, which I can just simply put down x. The 1 is understood in front, okay? If you don't see it, it's always understood that there's a 1 in front. So now you multiply 3 times -5, that gives us our -15. Notice I'm not using an x, okay? As we get older, as we get into algebra, I know there's going to be some teachers that still use x, but once you get into algebra, your kids are going to start writing XX. This is not porn. We're not doing that, okay? So we're going to keep it clean because then all of a sudden when we start talking about exponents and I'm saying, okay, what's x times x? And they're like, am I multiplying x and what am I multiplying x to? So it gets confusing, okay? So that's why I like to either use a dot or parentheses, okay? No problem. So I know, I try to keep it crazy, but never know what's going to come out of this mouth. So now there's one more that I want to do. I'm looking at 2/3 x equals -8. All right, no freaking out. We're going to walk through it step by step. It's going to be okay. We're going to live. We're going to survive. All right. Thank you, Andy, for sharing the live. Appreciate it. You need this? All right. I got you. All right. So I know and I understand it's a Friday night. So just in case some of you guys are like, I wish I can stay, or I really want to pay attention on my first date and all this stuff, pay attention to your date. Seriously. there will be a replay. All of my lives are located here. Let me zoom in just a hair bit more. Whoops. Get that out of the way. Okay, so all of my replays are here. All you have to do is type in either ACG Math Tutoring or just type my name, Audrey Codner, and you'll see it. And all I would love for you guys to do is this, definitely that, and turn them on. I swear I won't be annoying when you turn on the notifications. Just so you'll know, I go live at least once every day, 7 days a week. And just so you know when it comes up, because sometimes it takes a while for me to download and to upload. Okay, the downloading takes forever. The uploading, not so much, right? So if you do need to skedaddle and you want the lives, you can definitely do that, okay? All right, I'd rather you learn than you struggle. No more struggling. All right, now, this time we have a number in the numerator and in the denominator. And we can solve this one of two ways. And I want you to pick the way that you feel comfortable with. So the first way, let me set up my equals so people can see. We can continue on how we solved this one. We just multiply both sides of the equal sign by what our denominator was. We can continue on with that theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by my denominator, which is a positive 3. So what happens is 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. And 1 times this 2 is 2. So what's coming down is 2x. So this is us taking it piece by piece. So once the 3's cancel out, what's left is the 2, now a whole number, and the x. Now what's happening over here is we have negative 8 times a positive 3. So a negative times a positive, that gives me a negative. And then 8 times 3, that gives me 24. Okay. All right. So yes, we're not going to multiply the 8. We want to multiply whatever our denominator is. Because remember, our goal is we want to isolate that variable. Always do the action of where the variable is. So now we have 2x is equal to negative 24. So now this is no longer a one-step. This is a multi-step. Yup. So now what should I do? Mia, how did you get your negative 12? What did we need to do next? Hi, Mia. Okay, divide by 2. That's what Jumpy says. Divide, yes, Van. Okay, West Africa is telling me negative 2. Divide both sides by 2. Yes, because we want to isolate this x. We want that x to be by itself. So once we do that, now we have our x equals, and then we just do our division. Negative divided by a positive gives me a negative, and 24 divided by 2 gives me 12. So the missing piece of our puzzle is going to be a negative 12. Okay? And like I mentioned, there's another way. Why not negative 2? Why not negative 2? What do you mean, why not negative 2? Because we didn't have a negative on the left-hand side. The negative is rocking on the right-hand side. Why not divide by negative 2? Because the 2 is not negative. the 24 is. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the 2 is positive. Okay. All right. So now, like I said, this was one way. So now I'm going to show you the other way. Same problem. And again, you figure out, I'm going to write the word or. You figure out which way you prefer. Okay. The same original equation. Okay. So now we know that this is representing division. So we definitely want to multiply something on both sides. So if you're a type of person that's like, you know what, I'd just rather divide both sides by 2/3, and then it's going to look like a double decker, right? It's going to look like, you know, a BLT that's kind of stacked pretty high. I'm not sure how old everyone is, but if you kind of remember about Dagwood and Blondie, I know I'm showing my age, but here we are. And he used to love to make his sandwiches all nice and tall. Can't put his mouth around it, but he would love to have his sandwiches nice and tall. But it looks weird. So instead of dividing by a fraction, we all like to say you should multiply by what's called the reciprocal. Now, the reciprocal is basically your fraction flipped. So instead of 2/3, you're going to multiply by 3/2. So I come over here, I'm going to multiply over here by 3/2. The reason why we're doing this is because this is what's happening. If I want to, I could say 3 times 2 gives me 6. And 2 times 3 gives me 6. 6 divided by 6 gives me 1. Another way of looking at it is 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. And 2 divided by 2 also gives me 1. So what's left over on the left-hand side will be an x. So on the right-hand side, I have a negative number being multiplied by a positive number. So the signs are opposite, so that means my answer is going to be negative. But you're probably saying, I don't know, Audrey. But if you want to, you can do this. Make this whole number into a fraction. It's not going to change the value of it. It will just make it a lot easier for you to either multiply straight across horizontally, or you can cross simplify with the 8, the negative 8, and the 2. But if you're like me, we want to take it back to the basics. You can do 8 and 3. If I do 8 times 3, that will give me a negative 24. And then I'm going to do 1 times 2, which gives me a 2. Now I can divide this. So 24, negative 24 divided by 2, this also gives me a negative 12. Okay, so I'm expecting those that are just like, it's all right, Audrey, it's all right. But I'm also expecting a lot of people saying, I like the first one better because I was able to see my steps so much clearer. Awesome. There may be some people that are like, oh yeah, I just cross simplified and boom, boom, I got my negative 12 just like that. Awesome. Remember, we all learn differently, okay? You're going to get the same answer, but you pick the way that feels comfortable to you, all right? All right, yes, okay. Hey, Olivia, how are you? All right. You like it this way? Awesome. Okay. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that I want you to understand. Either you want to multiply by the reciprocal, which is the fraction being flipped, or, whoops, or you want to just multiply the denominator and then divide once again. You're going to get the same answer regardless. Yes, it's good to know both ways. Yes. Yes, it will, Sunflower. Yes, it will. I'm sorry I skipped your question earlier. Math doesn't hate you. Math doesn't know you. It's the fact that it's that fear factor, how it was presented to you in the very beginning, okay? Trust me. You know how I know? Because I'm a victim of it. Hi, welcome to Math Haters Anonymous. I used to be your president, right? And then all of a sudden, I decided to be a math teacher for some sick and twisted reason. I don't know. Maybe I lost a bet. I don't know. And then next thing you know, there was one professor that I had, and he says, if you want to do this, you have to learn this. All right. Challenge accepted. All right. Yep. There's always more than one way. And I know it's hard. You could change it to a decimal, 1.5. Yes, you can. You can change it to a decimal and then multiply it by 8, -8. You can do that as well. Hey, Lynette. All right. Oh, yeah, there's more. But you thought this was it? Like, no. All right, so while we're here, we have 213 of you guys. We're close to 15. See if we can keep going. I would love, my goal for today, I would love to get 25 because I'm not going to be here all night. I'm tired. Did I write this book? Look at you, Mia. Thank you. I didn't write it, but I created. I created this. So yes, it kind of gives you that whole lead with everything. Gives you a section for formulas, a section for your steps. Also give you some room to do some work on one side as well as what we're about to do on this side. And not only do we have that, we also have a lot of resources in the very back. This one is designed for pre-algebra to algebra 1. So here's like a factor sheet, which you can also use in multiplication tables. You can also look at the reference page, and then you start dealing with squares and cubes. I did the breakdown of that. That's what's new with the newer one. Then I have inequalities, rules of integers. Then we got linear and quadratic equations, order of operations, like the basic stuff that a lot of people forget. Even how to do decimal operation as well as fractions operation. Okay, you have yours? Awesome, good. So then we have everything else, even just like the arithmetic and geometric sequencing. So a lot of the resources that you are definitely going to be using for like intermediate algebra and maybe even algebra 1 and pre-algebra. This is designed to be just a math notebook. No more just get a composition book and it only gives you the multiplication table. All right, and it also gives you conversions at the very back. And then a place for you to be a little creative. If you like to doodle, you can doodle. Maybe just give you some extra room for maybe some extra notes. It's all up to you. So, how you can purchase this, you can actually either go to my books by Audrey Codner. I think it's all in here. All right, so you can go to either books by Audrey Codner, or you can go to my personal spot that has for like resources and also tutoring. I'm still doing private tutoring, but a lot of my kids are starting to come back. So if you need me for a tutor, if you're thinking about going back to school, or you're currently taking college algebra, or you're getting ready for the TEAS test, the GED, the ACCUPLACER, the ASVAB, the IBEW apprenticeship test, most tests and examinations, just let me know because I also do online tutoring. All right. Okay. Yep. Book spot, Audrey Codner. Thank you, Mia. All right. All right. So that's where you can get it. Now, let's continue on. Yes. So if you need help with the ASVAB, don't just sit here and say, I need help with ASVAB. I need for you to DM me. Okay? You have to DM me. Don't just mention it, because like it's nice to be mentioned here, but when I look through my DMs, I look through that more than I looked at the comments here. I'm going to be truthful. Okay? All right. Right? So a positive and a negative. There you go, Seth. So Seth, do you know what the square root of a -1 is? What's the square root of a -1? Get extra cool points. Ooh, no. So Seth saying 1, user saying 1, Jumpy saying 1, Just Peachy saying 1. Okay. Where can you order it? What's highlighted in yellow? That's where you can go. You could go to the A as well. I can't mention the name, but it's the place where you get most of your stuff mailed to you. It's also available there. And also, I just put in my Audrey's Notes. My Audrey's Notes book number 5 is available on here with the highlighted one. But I just did that this afternoon. So it's going to take some time for the A to kind of do its thing. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So. Okay, so this is the latest one for pre-algebra and algebra 1. Okay, always giving words of encouragement in the beginning, a little note from me. And since this is book number 6, we just finished book 5. So it gives you on both sides. There you go. Okay, dots, formulas. We worked on area the other time. That's it. And then you have all your blank pages. And then you have all your resources. Okay. All right. There we go. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. The square root of -1 is not 1. Nope. The square root of 1 is 1. The square root of -1 is an imaginary number, and it is called the letter I. Because if you ever notice, we never use I as a variable. We never use I or E because they both represent numbers. I represents the square root of -1. And that's when we start working on complex numbers. You know how there are your rational numbers, your real and your real and irrational, rational and irrational, which are underneath the real, but then we have those imaginary complex numbers. Those are your I's. Okay, I know. All right. Okay, no problem. So here we go. Thank you for all this. So let's go with the multi-step. Okay, thank you for those that stuck around. You know, this is how we get things done. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have 9x minus 11 equals -38. So just like we were doing before, we're using our equal sign as our whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So the ultimate goal, we need to get x by itself. So I know I like to use it as like relationships in the club. I haven't been in the club since I was in college, which was many, many moons ago. But I remember when you see couples going into the clubs, there's always that one girl or one guy that want to test the waters. They saw you walk in with your boo, but still, they always want to kind of separate a little bit. That's who this -11 is. This -11 is trying to break up 9 and X. Your X, your boo, is the 9. So right now, we want to eliminate that -11. We want them to go and leave us alone. So you're going to do the opposite. So if they're coming in with their negativity, you're going to give them some positivity, and that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. So that means you're going to add 11 on both sides. Because once that person feels uncomfortable, what are they going to do? They're going to leave. So now it's just you and your boo. And on the other side of the club, -11 is feeling some type of way, but hey, -38 is ready to pick her up. Ready to pick that thing up. Hey, boo, how you doing? Yeah, all that. So since we have a -38 and a +11, 38 is larger than 11. So think of it this way, money-wise. You owe me $38. You gave me 11. You still owe me $27. Okay? If you think of it like money, you will remember the signage so much better. Okay? So now, you're in the club. Girlfriend, boyfriend, your boo thing is acting up. They're starting to dance. Now they're just like, yeah, acting like they're single. Oh, you want to act like you're single? Bet. So we're going to divide that person out of our lives. Start walking home. I don't care what you do. Right? So we're dividing them out of our lives. 9 divided by 9 will give us our 1. And then what's left over is you, being the beautiful, independent person that you are. And all of a sudden, they found somebody real quick, right? So a negative divided by a positive gives me a negative. And 27 divided by 9 gives me 3. All right. So the missing element in this will be a -3. Okay. Right? They don't. Yeah, we couldn't do that, just be. My, I'm telling you. Yep, so sunflower, good. -3, just peachy, -3, good. Okay, then you guys were following along, yes. Add them on both sides, good. Add the 11, good job. Isolating the X, there you go, Andy did it, nice. All right. Hey, get it back. How are you? All right. So now, let's up the ante a little bit. So I'm going to say -n. Let me flip up or switch up. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay, let me slide that over for you guys. You're probably like, ooh, wait. Ooh, this is, yep, it is. But it's doable. So I need for you to breathe. Just breathe, relax. Okay? No stress, no strain. Nothing on this platform, okay? Yeah, I'm all right. That is actually going to be in another date, Andy. Yep, I tried to stick with one concept at a time because it confuses people. I'm not here for confusion. I'm here for clarity. Okay? All right? The equals throwing you off. Why? Because we're solving. Okay? Equals shouldn't throw you off. All right. So now, step by step. Ultimate goal when you're solving, we're trying to get our variable by itself. So now, here we go. Here's that extra person. This is you and your boo. Okay, you're the N, feeling kind of, I don't know, this girl, this guy's acting up. This is your boo. And this is that extra person in the club just trying to get in your conversations for no reason whatsoever. So we need to remove, not the 8. We're not subtracting the 8. Because if I subtract the 8, everybody's over here. Okay? No one's listening to the music. No one's jamming. So we need to make sure everything is even out. There's always should be something on one side and something on the other side. And remember, our ultimate goal is to get the variable by itself. There are no variables over here. All right? So that's why we're going to subtract the 3 on both sides. Because originally it's a plus 3. Now we got that person leaving, feeling kind of salty and negative. So 3 minus 3 gives me 0. But I don't need the 0. The 0 is a placeholder. We don't need to hold a place because we still have this negative n over 5 over here. But then over here, we have 8 minus 3. That gives us a positive 5. So now here, this one, it gets a little itchy. The reason why I say that is because I can do 2 things at once with this problem. Okay? I can do 2 things. I can multiply both sides by 5. Or I can multiply both sides by what? What other option can I do? Hey, classy lady. There we go. Okay, Murdinator, love it. -5. Amber, love it. -5. Not too crazy, Maya. Not too crazy. Reel it back. Reel it back. Okay. Is that Rhonda? Sonda? Shonda? Probably Shonda. No, I didn't get to conics. I'm not doing conics. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. You want to get rid of that denominator. Okay. We want to work on that denominator. But then this is also a negative. So it's that whole saying, like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I know it's very violent, but we're going to work through it. Okay. So if we multiply both sides by the 5, we're still going to have to divide later with the -1. So why not have that happen all at once? So that means the 5s are going to cancel out as well as that negative. So that means what's left over here on the left-hand side is my n equals. You see what happened? We got rid of the 5 as well as that negative. So that means n is going to equal to -25. Because a positive 5 times a -5 gives me a -25. Okay. Is that Tam? Okay. Good. Sunflower, good. Sacred, good. Only in intro algebra. Yep. That's exactly what I do. Okay, that's exactly what I do. I want to talk to the people that always struggle with math, and I want to build your skills up. Because eventually, if you have a kid that's going to need help, maybe you're homeschooling, maybe you have a younger child, and all of a sudden, they're doing algebra, and the first thing you say is, yeah, I'm out. I want you to feel comfortable, like, you know what, let's break this down. and feel comfortable with it. Okay? I really do. I would love that for you. Because how empowering is that? I know there's going to be a certain limit. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm not doing all that derivative stuff. Yeah, that's not me. Let's get you a tutor, like ASAP. But at least, because especially I work a lot with busy adults as well as busy teens, like teens that are athletes, actors and actresses, some of them that go to work right after school, and the only time they can do their schoolwork is when they finally get home. And that's why I do a lot of late night sessions. Like for me, most of the time it's happening during the school year, like at 4 o'clock, and I will tutor all the way up to 11 p.m. Yeah, that's the type of tutor I am. And I have people all over. So there's no, oh, I think it's this or I think it's that. Nope. Because everyone has different time frames. Sometimes people just want to ask a question. And that's a reason why I do these TikToks. Okay, here is another one. You hated math since pre-algebra? Oh, I know. Ocean is probably, as soon as you saw letters, you're like, why is there letters in math? Oh yeah, I was the same way. Oh my God, I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible at math. Fractions, nope. Word problems, oh hell no, we ain't doing that. I'll take the L. But if I wanted to be a math teacher, I had to get over my phobias and I had to practice. And I had really great teachers that I looked up to, and there were some teachers I sure as hell did not look up to. But I saw how they treated their students versus how other teachers treat their students, and that's what molded me a little bit. You know, that's what really did molded me. Yeah. So Mercy's saying we got 6 in high school. Oh yeah, calc, different animal altogether. I love math enough to do extra fun workbooks. Yeah. Yeah. Could we have started out by multiplying both sides by -5 over n? No. So let me take a step back for a second. So Mia, no. If this +3 wasn't there, yes, you could. Okay, you would multiply both sides by -5. But because that +3 was there, we had to move that because now we can go into the full isolation. Okay? Sorry, I just saw your request. The most rewarding? Yes. Okay, you're welcome. All right, let me swing back over here. I don't know how much. Oh, no problem, Moondrop. You're back. I was like, wait a minute. I remember seeing Moondrop. I haven't seen it in a minute. Oh, not a problem. So loving. Okay, Ocean, what's wrong? What's your question? I can start up on this one, and I can jump back to that one. Okay, good. All right. So now let's take a look at this one. Again, we're solving. So we want to isolate our x. Right now, what's attached to that x is a -4. This minus sign is attached to the 4, not the 21. Remember, all signage will be on the left-hand side of the number. So since this is a positive 21, we're actually going to subtract 21 on both sides. Okay. So we cancel those out. What comes down is a -4x equals, then 45 minus 21 gives us a 24. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, Janice, how are you? Want to get some Z's? Hey. If my soothing voice helps it, let's go. Now all of a sudden I'm starting to see people like, oh, this is how you can lose 50 pounds in like 2 months. Hypnosis. Well, let my voice be your hypnosis. So now we want to get x by itself. So we want to divide both sides by my -4. Not -4x, because we want x to be by itself, by the -4. So -4 divided by -4 will give me 1x, or I can just put the x down. Bring down my equals. Now 24 divided by -4. Sorry, I got a puzzle piece I gotta put together here. Yay, okay. TikTok really makes you jump through some hoops, man, when you're doing a live. Whew. Okay, so what do we got? So I have, let me see if I can get all, okay, so Jumpy Jan says -6, good. User saying 6, Mercy saying -6, Erica saying 6, equals 6. Erica switched over to -6, okay. Is that Jocelyn? Saying -6, how are you? It's been a while. Kesha saying -6, Tay saying -6, Amber -6. What is that? Some more? Is that -6? Ocean -6. Don't we keep the sign? We're saying -6. Okay. We got a positive 24 divided by -4. The signs are different. When the signs are different, when you're doing division, your answer is always going to be negative. So now 24 divided by 4 will give me my 6. So x is going to equal a -6. Okay. All right, Andy, good. John, you agree. Baby girl, hey, baby girl, how are you? Saying -6, all right. Okay. Not this one, Mia, but I am working on developing a workbook. I've been doing a lot of research for the past, I want to say month. Lots of buying of workbooks and researching stuff online. And the one thing, especially I learned from you guys, the one thing I keep hearing is, especially when you haven't seen math in a long time, they always give you an answer key, which is great. But then when you read through the answer key, you have no idea what they're talking about. So I really want to design a workbook for the people. Let's put it that way, and it's not just, and don't worry if it says GED, it's really a combination of those algebra components that they see on GED, on the ASVAB, on the ACCUPLACER, even somewhere in some praxis, if you're doing like the first praxis, they use the same information. All they do is zhuzh it up by saying, oh, Mary bought 5 watermelons. It'll just be like, the sergeant ordered 5 privates to do something, or, you have 5 clients, and that's how they do. That's how they change it up. But the concepts is still the same, okay? So that's what I'm working on. As soon as it, no problem. As soon as it, comes into fruition, which it will, I'm shooting for like around Thanksgiving. And I know probably you guys are like, I'll be done by then. But you'll be able to get assistance here. All right. So taking a look at my time, I really want you guys to try this one by yourself. Okay, let's see if we can get up to 30K. That would be amazing. We're past the 25, which I hoped for. I appreciate that. Okay, you love this for students? Yes. If anything, like the notebooks that's here, You have it more of a grid. You can easily draw graphs and everything. But let me get you guys started with this one. I'm really curious to see how you guys do. I have faith. I have faith. Okay, so we have x divided by 7 minus 4 equals 4. So do this amongst yourself. Do not put the answers up. I'm gonna kind of give you like a minute and a half until I tell you. That's when you put your answers in. So right now, do not put your answers in. Just work it out, and then we can work on our answers in a second. Okay, don't even give any hints. No more hints. Stop it. Stop it. I'm giving you the teacher look right now. The high eyebrow, eyes bugging out. Now it's starting to zero in like I got lasers. Do not put anything in the chat right now. If you want to continue tapping, you can tap. Right, the teacher look. Yes. Oh yeah, I perfected it. I don't do that finger pointing thing. Right, I appreciate it. Okay, it's almost time. Just be patient. Do not put your answers in. Do not put your answers in. I know that's a crazy answer. Don't put any fake answers in there either. Yes, pointing without pointing. Yes, make you feel it in your soul. Even your ancestors shifted their neck a little bit. Okay, do not put any answers in. Okay, do not put any answers in. You can type your answer, but do not hit send. Let's put it that way, because I know some of you guys are just itching. Okay. Hold on to discipline. Hold on to discipline. Okay. All right. Okay, put your answers up. What do we got? Okay, Ricky's like, whoo! Ah! Ricky's saying 56. Kaya saying 56. Mia saying 28. Is it Shanae? Or Charmaine? Charmaine? Ooh, that's an interesting spelling. I haven't seen that one. 56. User, yes. Saying 26. Whoa. Hold on. What we got? Oh, saying 32. Ashton, 56. Latoya, 28. Okay, we're getting all kinds of. Jocelyn, there she go. And there she went. Where did it go? Saying 32. We got an 8. We got Ketchwood, 56. Tex Bama saying 56. Andrew, 56. Loki. Ooh, famous people on here saying 56. Is that Amadullah? Okay, saying 56. All right, so let's take a look. First thing, we want to isolate our variable. So that means we need to move and do the inverse of that minus 4 by adding 4 on both sides of the equal sign. Negative 4, positive 4 gives us 0. So we don't need that placeholder because we still have the x over 7 equals 4 plus 4, that gives us 8. So now we have division. The inverse of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 7. 7 divided by 7 will give us 1. So we can just bring down the 1x or just the x, because the 1 is understood to be in front of the x. And then lastly, we have 8 times 7. That gives us our 56. Okay. What are our questions? What are our questions? Okay, you understand where you went wrong? All right, awesome. That tells me that you're learning. I love it. I love when you guys are able to self-adjust, make corrections to the test. It would look a little awkward, but right, that's all it is. Okay, can you multiply the 7 first and go from there? No. No, 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 no. Who asked that? Okay. We cannot do multiplying of the 7 first because that -4 is in the way. If that -4 wasn't there and it was just x over 7 equals 4, yes, you can multiply both sides by 7. But because of that -4, you gotta isolate. You gotta isolate as best you can. Okay, that has to be the first one. Oh, well, thank you. All right, 30, I love it. Woohoo. Yes, so the first step will be to isolate the fraction. Yep, that'll be your very first step. Okay. All right. Like this one? Let's see. I think I might have something up my sleeve. Ooh, it's almost that time. All right. So I might have 2 more problems left in me. So let's do this one. I'll make it similar to the other one with a twist. Okay, this will do. All right, here you go. So x over 5, or x divided by 5, plus 11 equals 16. Same thing. Do not put your answers down. Okay, I'll give you a minute and a little bit. Probably minute 15. Okay. When's your next exam? Okay, do not put your answers in. You guys don't like control, do you? Yeah. Oops. I missed like 5 people. I know. I'm seeing the numbers. I'm just like, calm it down. Ohio! How are you, dear? Did you guys start school yet? Accidentally posted. Okay. Oh, do you know, Ocean? It is worst. I remember when I was working in the school system. My goodness. Every time we had a faculty meeting or professional development, I'm like, guys, she said, or this person said this. Stop. Just stop. Well, we could do it this way. Did they ask for it that way? No. Why are you doing some extra stuff? Just stop. All right, put your answers up. I know some of you guys already did. And at least there was an agreement. Oh, she starts on Monday? Okay. First math teacher I saw laughing. Yeah? Aw, that's a shame. All right. Got it. She's like, I'll just put a fake one up there. You already put the real one up there. All right, so Carrie 25, Ocean 25. Hold on. Let me start from the very beginning when people were just throwing up answers. Okay, so Loki 25. Beautiful. What's that? Brianna 25. Jocelyn 25. Is it Shamish? Shumish? You know I'm all kinds of crazy. If I'm disrespecting you, please let me know. Okay, Kaya, we saw yours with 25. Kesha 25. Then we have Fabio, 25. Square root of 625, which gives us 25. All right, Shimish, 25. We have that. Amber, 25. Municipal 1. Eric, 25. Hello, Eric. Welcome back. You have to start working again soon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's that magical time. And if any of you guys are math teachers and you know some kids are struggling with math, and I know we all try to do coach class, but sometimes there's some kids that just need extra, pass them my way. Share the live. Or if anything, share where I'm going to be on YT. Okay, so we are subtracting 11 on both sides. So the 11s cancel. Then we have what's left over is x over 5 equals. Then you have 16 minus 11. That gives us our 5. Then we want to multiply both sides by 5. Because when we do division, the inverse of division is multiplication. So 5 divided by 5 gives us our 1, but we don't really need the 1 because we got the 1x right there. And then 5 times 5 gives me 25. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, Erica 25, good job. Steph 25, nice. Jocelyn, you see it, awesome, 25. Wide, thicker outline row. That's just how it came out. I don't know why. It's okay. Okay, groovy. Okay. If it was 1 over x, that means you would have to multiply both sides by x. Yeah. You're in high school at 47. You know what, Erica? Good job. I am so proud of you. And I know you're not the only one that's going back to school. Go get it. Don't let anybody hold you back. If you need some positivity and a kick in the butt, you know where to come. You can come right here. Because I'm going to tell you, there's going to be days that you're going to be like, well, I don't want to do it. Yes, you're going to do it. Because there's too many people, even our lovely trifling behind friends, they're the first ones like, girl, you don't need to study tonight. Let's just go out and just spend money. Why? You know, get yourself a better job. Get yourself something. Get yourself an opportunity or create an opportunity for yourself. You never know. Just by you getting your GED or getting whatever it's called, whatever the high school equivalent is called, because every state calls it differently. That might help you to say, look, if I can get through this, I can do anything. And I want you to have that. I want you guys to go after what you want. Do not let anybody, even your own family, don't let them hold you back. Don't let anyone hold you back. Because if I could sit up here talking about I used to hate math and now I'm a math teacher, shoot, that's God right there. Because I don't know. I don't know. I'm sitting here working on unit circles and breaking down logarithmic and exponential. Psh, that's straight God right there because nope, that was not me. So, all right, just keep on going. 1 2 points. All right, well, you only took it 3 times. Baby, no. You know how many times it took me to take the praxis to be a math teacher? 11 times. 1 11 times. It got to the point that when I came home from the test, I just signed up for the next one. Like, that's what it was. It was like $200 a pop. I was working in the school, but it was getting close. And this was the last time I could take it. I remember it was April. And I was so sick as a dog. But I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to take this test. And I passed it, and that was God right there. I swear, I think it was the people. They're like, you're here almost every weekend. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Trying to pass this test. Just trying to pass it. They're like, your determination, I love it. That's what you got to do. Just as much as you always got to post on TikTok just for the algorithm to figure out, you need to do the same thing for your life. Do the same thing for your life. Stop working hard for other people. Start working hard for you. Come on, babies. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this thing called life. The reason why we haven't changed everything is because we haven't decided to change. So let's change. Okay? All right. Okay. Now I can get off my soapbox. But I feel this way each and every time. And I need to get going soon. Okay, so as I said before, this is my ultimate math notebook. I did make a few changes from the previous ones. It has several covers. You got this one for this cover. This is for pre-algebra, algebra 1. If you're taking intermediate algebra in community college, this will be the perfect one for you. And also in the back, it gives you a lot of those review stuff in the back, especially this factor sheet. I showed one of this to my new client, and she was like, oh my gosh. So I got another person that bought a book. And it's just simple things that you would think about, and it's all in one book. Would I ever put all of these in a separate book in itself? I don't know. I don't know. But it's here. Okay? Also, and this is just an example of one of the older books that I have. And this is what I do, you know. We have a section for the formula, a section for the steps, a section of doing the work. Not only on one side, but on the other side. And the other thing I like, if there's some papers that your teachers give you and you might want to cut it out and then redefine it as your own, you can do that. You can tape it on one side and then do the summary of what's on that paper on the other side. And the one thing I do like about this is, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Like, here's a sheet of paper that we had some notes, and then I did a summarization of it over here. Okay, so you can have that. So sometimes you can either draw your own grids. And what I did was, if you want to follow along with my notes, you can as well. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of cutting and pasting, but this is what I like to do with my graphing linear inequalities, like how to graph it. I love doing the dot grids because it makes my dot pop a lot better, a little more accuracy. And then again, has all the rules. This one had properties of quadrilaterals in there, a little bit of geometry in it. Then it had the unit circle, so it really kind of tried to play a little bit on both sides. And also I put, if you're really into brain breaks, my older version of the books will actually work best for you. Okay, you know, just always, some people said, yeah, I'm not really using that, so why waste money in creating it, and let me create something for you that you can use. Okay, so if you actually want copies of my notes, you can go to what's called Audrey's Notes. So Audrey's Notes, like I said, I just uploaded book number 5. It's a color copy of all my notes. So if you want my actual notebook, you can. And what happens is, here's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you directly to the live that this, what's the topic of it, will be. So once you see it, then you'll see me. You can walk myself through it. You can use it for remediation. You can use it for advancement. It's all here. And it's in color. Okay, a lot of these notebooks are black and white. And I'm like, you need the color. You need to see the color difference of the pens. You need to see like the highlights of what it is when things get pinpointed. Okay, so it's just Xerox copies or scans of my notes, like here for the matrix. So adding and subtracting. So, and then if you're left-handed, I just started a lefty book, a lefty series. So this is the first one for the pre-algebra and algebra 1. Notice it opens the other way. Okay, so if you're left-handed, I got you, boo. There's not too many left-handed books out there, especially designed for math. This is a rare breed. Trust me, this was very interesting for me to put together. It took me 3 trials. 3. So I was so excited. And actually, this book is actually dedicated to my father. The anniversary of his death is actually next Wednesday. And he was one of my lefties, and so is my mom. So one of my other left-handed books will also be dedicated to my mom. So they're the only crazy lefties that I knew. Well, other than my ex. He can go kick rocks. But but if you're looking for a left-handed book, in my bookstore, which is this one, in my bookstore, you're going to see the cover looking like this. Because for some reason, it won't change to the cover. So if you see it like this, it's actually labeled left-handed of my left-handed series. All right. Okay. Yes. We got to respect everybody, right? Do I have an ebook? No. I used to have an ebook many years ago, but it's a notebook. And that means you're going to be printing out copies after copies after copies. It'll be cheaper for you to buy the book than to pay for ink. Trust. Please. Trust. Okay? Even though I'm trying to make a little bit of funds and use my expertise to make money, but at the same time, you're going to be cranking them out. Like, no. After like maybe 2 or 3 copies, you're going to be like, oh, hell no. Let me just go ahead and buy this book. So I think that'll be a lot easier. Am I going to do mock GET tests again? Yes, I will. Okay. For the $10, let me think about that. No, I'm just kidding. I would. Yes, I would definitely do it. So if anything, I still have the exams. If anything, just reach out to me of when roughly you're thinking about taking it. Am I on Amazon? Yes, I am on the A word. I can't say it, but yes. Oh, you only see July's? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I was ending it there. If anything, just send me a message through here, through TikTok. Just DM me, and then we'll make an arrangement. Okay? All right. Okay, cool. Yep. Because we want to get you ready and started. I'm finishing up with my live course, which I love the people that are in it, but I just feel like I know what my fall is going to look like, and I will not be able to give the amount of time like I would, say, during the summer. I won't be able to give that much time. Hence, that's why I'm trying to put the workbook together. Okay. When do I do these lives? All right, well, hell, welcome. It seems like Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, I'm here at 7 p.m. Okay, so 7 p.m. And it might change depending on how the school year fills up. But on Mondays through Thursdays, it's at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for the follows, guys, and the likes. Look at this, all the way up, almost at 40. Look at us. I wasn't even thinking about it. Okay, you're so welcome. Yeah, I am basically really hitting hard on the basics. I would love to do conics and everything else, but I'm really trying to hit hard on the concepts. That's usually being taught in like GED, basic algebra 1 classes, algebra 2 classes, basic geometry. So I feel like when I do the basic stuff, a lot more people can relate to it, because without the basics, you can't do the advanced math. You can't do the algebra 2, the pre-calculus, the calculus, if you don't have, one, your multiplication table down packed. You have to have your multiplication table down packed. Please. Okay. Okay. What did I do tonight? I did one-step and multi-step equations. Don't worry. Give me some time and I will upload it on here. Yeah, TikTok schedule is false. This is an old sheet. I have to do a new sheet this weekend because my schedule just keeps changing because sometimes I'll have students and then they'll change for some sick and twisted reason. So I'm like, okay. All right. Okay, the multiplication flashcards aren't helping. You're not seeing the number 6 book? You're not going to see the number 6 book. I'm on the number 6 book. I'm on number 6. So we just got started on this book. What was it? Last night? The 13th? Yeah, we just got started on number 6 book on the 13th. So it's not there yet. Number 5 is what I just uploaded. And if you're looking on the A, it's not cleared yet. But if you're looking at my books by, it should be there. Okay. No, I do not have any bundles. They will not let me do bundles. Yes, thank you, Amber. Oh, good. I'm glad I helped motivate. So where do you get it? You get it here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so you can get the books here. Okay. Why are we screaming? Which one can I get? I'm doing college math. If you're in my books by, go from the second to the top. It looks green. It's not this pinkish one. It's like a greenish one. As soon as mine come in, I can show more of that one. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, good night, Amber. Okay. I was like, why are you screaming? All right, what is the web address? Okay, so this is my W. I can't even say that word or I get dinged as well. I feel like there's certain words I want to say just for clarification, but I can't say them because I will get dinged, and God forbid if I get dinged, because I was put on probation at one time. Hilarious. So this is where you can go if you want to do courses like a self-paced course. I have a few self-paced courses for GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, Foundation Algebra. It's like 107 instructional videos. You also get practice sheets with explanation. You get exit tickets, so it's like an extra practice, as well as a couple quizzes here and there. And the cost of that is the $147 if you just want the course. But if you want like 2 30-minute tutoring sessions, you can get for the $197. Okay. I know, right? I don't know why they do that. They make you jump through so many hoops, but hey, this is why they are who they are, I guess. And I don't know what's going to happen because isn't there supposed to be another time that they might shut down again in, I think, September 1st? Was that what it was? I don't know. Okay, which books has the form of the ultimate math notebook? The most recent one is this one for like pre-algebra and algebra 1. So just the notebooks are the ones that has like all the freestanding pages, but at the back it'll give you all the resources. Okay. Because if you do, where'd it go? Out here. Yeah, it's like Audrey's notes is just like Cliff Notes. Like they're already notes already done. You just scan the code at the bottom to follow along with the video. Okay. Yep. So it's just literally a copy of my notes. That's all it is. Because some people just like to have my notes, I guess the penmanship. I don't know. But some people like it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give the people what they want. Okay. So you need the GED one. What, the course? Yeah, so if you go here, you can find all the pricing and all the information. And if you want something more, I'd rather, if you're not sure, I hope everyone's listening to me. If you're not sure what to purchase, message me so we can actually have a conversation. Yes, I do have a phone, and yes, I do like to talk to people, okay? If I have to, for us to get on a call and just really talk about what are your needs instead of just blindly buying something. I don't want you to have buyer's remorse. So please, like if you see my name, go to the bio, and there should be a part where you can text me or you can email me, and definitely leave me a message so we can sit down. And I think it's under the service, if I'm not mistaken. There's like a button at the bottom of your screen that says service, which has like my email that's attached to it. Just send me a message, and then so I will message you back. Give me a phone number as well, and then we can set up a time where we can sit and I can listen to your story. I want to hear where you want to go. What's your goal? What are you trying to do? What do you know, to make sure that if it's not me, I can give you a resource, so I can make sure you're on the right track. Okay, I don't like for people wasting money. I don't like for people obviously that's not money in my pocket, but this is beyond money. I want you to understand these. Okay. So again, Toya, just message me and then we can chit chat because I want to see what exactly. Okay. So my number 5 book, that's done. So everything that I do around here, it's going to be a hodgepodge. Like I don't go so super consistent. The reason why is if you can do that, then what's the point of like tutoring and all that stuff? So I give a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I talk a little bit about like 4-point questions on GED. Like I do a mixture. But if we have, like, say, a tutoring session, you see where I'm going with this? Like, I'm showing you about myself, but I'm also offering my services, offering my books and everything. So this is why, here's the thing, message me before you buy anything. So I can say, yep, the Audrey's Notes book number 5 will be perfect for you because it has this. This is why, if anything, go here first, okay? Subscribe. Take a look at some of the videos. And then if you're like, oh, I definitely want to learn more about this. I suck at this. I need help with this. Then we have something to work with, okay? Does that make sense? Yep, for GED math. Okay. You heard this before, but I bought that and they didn't want me to refund one of them. What do you mean they didn't want you to refund one of them? Yeah, you're going to have to contact them. If they say they didn't want to refund one of those, I'm like, well, I didn't mean to order 2 of them. There you go. Or see if you can sell one to someone that wants it. Yep, I definitely do tutoring as well. So, if you need me for tutoring, go here. Okay. Go here and fill out the contact form, and then I'll get back to you, probably tomorrow. maybe even tomorrow morning or afternoon, one of the two. Okay. Right. To people who... Okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Alright, everyone. Well, that's stupid. Sorry. Not you. Not saying that's just the whole situation. It's like, what's up with that customer service, you know? Well, if anybody wants, hey, you can, I'm perfectly fine if you wanted to sell one of those books to someone. If anyone here is looking for one of the books and you want to sell it, go ahead. You know, at least I know it's you. It's not like some random, like, hey, look, I got the Audrey's notes, you know, all that kinds of stuff. Yes, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, everyone, I do have to go because all of a sudden this person came up on my Zoom call. Okay. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. We're going to do a little bit more with solving equations, especially when we have more than one variable on one side, and also when we have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to be working on that tomorrow night. All right. So have a great night. And again, if you need assistance, do not hesitate to message me, okay? Follow me, message me, and I'll contact you as soon as possible so we can get ourselves situated, okay? All right. Love you all. Have a great night. Take care. Bye now.